All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope y'all are having an absolutely awesome weekend. As always, guys, before we get started, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Some really big Bitcoin news, probably the biggest Bitcoin news, I'd say, of the year, broke last week. And we're going to break it all down because, guys, this news that came out, this really does change everything. Now, I know what you're thinking. Like, what is Kevin talking about? Well, you guys remember last episode we covered, Blackrock saying, hey, we're filing for a Bitcoin spot ETF. We actually love Bitcoin. Blackrock letting the world know that they're going to be investing in Bitcoin. So let me remind you of this 2017 article where the CEO of Blackrock said that Bitcoin was an index of money laundering. So, guys, we've heard it all about Bitcoin. We've heard it's digital beanie babies. We've heard it's fake internet money. We heard it's a Ponzi scheme. It's going to zero. The government's going to ban it. We've heard it all, right? And if you follow this channel, you remember I'm the one telling you that all this was fake news. All this was fake news. Let's fast forward to 2 days ago. Look what the CEO of BlackRock is saying now. He's got a little bit of a different tune. He said this: crypto is digitizing gold, and Bitcoin has the power to revolutionize finance. Wow, that's a big jump. But I'm going to play the clip. I'm going to let you hear it straight from the CEO of BlackRock. Check out what he said about Bitcoin. Check this out. This is incredible.
And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold in many ways. Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the onerous problems of any one country, or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you're in. Let's be clear. Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency. And so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative. I would call the foundation of BlackRock is about hope. You invest for retirement because you believe tomorrow is better than today.
All right, so I know what you're thinking. Like, Kevin, CEO of BlackRock sounds a lot like you. Bitcoin's digital gold. It's an international asset. It's going to protect you against inflation. It's going to protect you against the devaluation of your currency. What changed? Is Larry Fink watching my channel? Probably not. So, and again, guys, this is just my speculation. I don't think they just read the Bitcoin white paper yesterday and they're discovering everything that you and I know. I think they've been knowing all of this. And I think that what happened was the on-ramps for traditional finance, for the BlackRocks, for the big hedge funds, for the big investment banks in the world, in order to invest in this asset, those on-ramps were not there yet. It takes time. It takes time to be able to move large sums of money into this asset. So I think that while they got the infrastructure in place, they know they can't ban it. They'd love to ban it. They'd love to just get rid of Bitcoin. They'd love to keep, because by centralizing the power, there's no threat to them and their wealth. So now they're doing a complete 180. So remember, guys, they were saying Bitcoin was a venereal disease. It was a Ponzi scheme. Now they're saying it's the greatest asset ever. You guys know who BlackRock is. I know who BlackRock is. We know BlackRock has $10 trillion in assets. So what BlackRock's going to want to do is get the price as low as possible by using the mainstream media, by using everything to keep the price down, and then buy it all up and manipulate it, because companies like BlackRock, they make money off of Bitcoin on the way up, and they make money shorting it on the way down. So it's all about control. It's all about using traditional finance as a middleman, where a gatekeeper, think of it as a gatekeeper. What, you want to buy Bitcoin? Well, there shouldn't be a middleman, but if they know they can't stop it, they want to at least be the intermediary between you and your Bitcoin. So while this is just, it's just mainly to me the acceptance of Bitcoin and understanding that this is an asset that we all know it is, that, if you tune into this channel, you're smart, you know all this. Now, off of this news, guys, Bitcoin's still sitting at 30,000. It's down about 1% on a day. And if you're wondering why, well, check out this Decrypt article. Bitcoin falls to $30,000 amid expectations of a Fed rate hike. So we know that the Fed, Jerome Powell and the Fed, they're talking about they're going to raise interest rates again. So just think of it like this. As the Fed raises interest rates, money is harder to come by. If money is more expensive to get, there's not as much cheap money going around. Risk on assets such as Bitcoin are normally going to fall. Keep in mind, guys, we were just at $15,000 to start the year. We're at $30,000. What better a return could you get? Now, where is Bitcoin going to go from here? What does this news have anything to do with anything? Well, it perfectly correlates with the Bitcoin halving cycle, which we know is less than a year away. So again, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm dollar cost averaging into the asset. Whether Larry Fink said this or not, whether he called Bitcoin an index of money laundering or he called it the greatest asset in the world, he doesn't matter to me. I make my own financial decisions, but I do like to see what's going on because I would believe that Larry Fink's probably very educated on a Bitcoin halving cycle. And what my prediction is that this cycle is going to be very similar to previous cycles, which we're going to see a monumental bull run. So pack your bags, altcoins, absolutely skyrocket. Do your own research. Make sure you're invested in the right altcoins. Make sure you're diversified, all that. And I think that when this Bitcoin spot ETF does get approved, that will be the launch ramp. That will be 100% the launch ramp. Now, check it out. From Bitcoin.com, Blackrock seeks to democratize crypto. CEO says Bitcoin can hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. Now, let me play you guys a clip of a good friend of the channel. I definitely got to have her on again because she's absolutely brilliant. A friend of mine, Natalie Brunell, she was on Fox News, and this is what she said about the Larry Fink Blackrock clip. Check out
as far as that Larry Fink clip, what I heard him say is that Bitcoin is a better check against government money mismanagement than gold, and Bitcoin is hope for a financially secure future, because the reality is it's so hard for the average person to make ends meet today. It's a struggle to have enough for retirement. It's a struggle for young people to own a house, which is so central to the American dream and a thriving middle class. The cost of living and education keeps going up. So we really do need a form of savings that's accessible to everyone, that is immune from manipulation and debasement. And Bitcoin can't be printed at will. So it really is that long-term safeguard for the value of your money. And Bitcoin is a shield to protect your hard-earned savings and protect the worker from the erosion of their purchasing power. As far as that.
Now, Natalie Brunell is absolutely right. I mean, you guys are seeing the inflation. The owning a home is becoming a distant dream for a lot of younger people. Home ownership's getting harder and harder. We're seeing insurance go up. We're seeing interest rates going up. We're seeing home valuations absolutely skyrocket. We're realizing that we can't save our way through inflation. We can't save our way to generational wealth, which is a shame because, your currency should appreciate in value. Your currency shouldn't devalue, meaning that your money sitting in a bank shouldn't be worth less 2 years from now, a year from now. Your money should at least keep its value or gain value. So Bitcoin is a revolutionary asset in the sense that we've never had an asset like this, guys. Gold would be the closest thing to that, but we see how stagnant the gold price has become. We see how heavily manipulated the gold markets are by institutions like BlackRock. So now we have access, guys, and this is crazy times to be alive because if you're watching this channel, you're smart. Most of you are smart. You get it, and you're able to enter this asset before all the big money. We're entering Bitcoin before BlackRock. Now, what are we waiting on? What's the holdup? Well, check out this CNBC article. BlackRock refiles for spot Bitcoin ETF and Binance.US faces fall in market share. So, BlackRock filed for their spot ETF, which again I think is gonna be the catalyst to start the bull market. It hasn't been approved yet. The SEC said they needed more information. It wasn't sufficient enough. That their ETF didn't have enough information. Now, what you want to note from that is BlackRock has stated that they're using Coinbase for the spot ETF. I'm guessing they're going to use Coinbase to actually facilitate the purchase of the Bitcoin and the custody of the Bitcoin, which is important to note because, well, you guys are seeing the SEC attacking Coinbase, which I think all of that's going to disappear. I think all that's going to hopefully disappear in the next year because I use Coinbase. Now, this is from Fortune Crypto, guys. Kathy Wood says BlackRock doesn't have an edge when it comes to SEC approval for a spot Bitcoin ETF. I got to say, guys, I have a lot of respect for Kathy Woods, but I 100% disagree with her here. I think BlackRock's going to get their spot ETF approved first. So when we see all the previous spot ETFs get denied, I think that because the regulators are in bed with BlackRock and they're telling all of them, get to the back of the line. BlackRock comes first. They're going to get their spot ETF approved. The money's going to flow into them first, and then everybody else will be next in line. So Kathy Woods, she knows something. All these big institutions wouldn't be filing for this spot ETF if this technology was going to be banned or was going to be illegal or was going to zero. There's just no way. So Kathy Woods' ARK Invest report reveals that 70% of the circulating Bitcoin supply remains unmoved for a year. Now, what does that mean? Well, think of it this way. There's a limited supply of Bitcoin. 70% of the supply is locked up in cold storage. So the amount that is on exchanges that's available for me and you to buy is very low. So what happens when the exchanges run out of Bitcoin? Well, if investors, the Blackrocks of the world, the institutional investors, if they want to buy Bitcoin, they have to buy it from you and I. How incredible is that? Imagine what the price is going to do if, the big investors are holding long term. So think of it if there's a limited supply of gold. And 70% of the gold supply is locked up in Fort Knox and it's not for sale. Think about it, guys. So it's crazy, guys. It's crazy that we're living in this critical part of history, this fourth industrial revolution, whatever you want to call it. Bitcoin.com. Check out this story. Central Bank of Russia. Digital ruble could be launched as soon as 2025. So, guys, the BRICS nations are seeing the writing on the wall. They're seeing the devaluation of the U.S. dollar. They do not want to hold a currency that is being inflated and losing its purchasing power. So they've decided with this blockchain technology, they can create their own digital currency and back that digital currency by gold, or maybe perhaps back it by Bitcoin. A currency that can be programmed to be protected from inflation. This is societal change in technology, and just more evidence of that, guys. Cointelegraph article: Twitter receives money transmitter license in 3 United States. So, guys, Twitter wants to create their own Twitter Pay. We know Elon Musk started PayPal. We know he knows a lot about the payments industry. We know he's bullish on Bitcoin. We know Elon Musk holds Ethereum. We know Elon Musk is bullish on Dogecoin. So, guys, you guys see how big and how awesome of an app Twitter is, how many users Twitter has. Imagine when it's an everything app, when people are going to be able to use Twitter to send money to each other, to transact, acting as, a centralized entity, yes, but a centralized payment entity that is going to utilize cryptocurrencies. Imagine the demand for crypto when all of this is launched. So we're watching the infrastructure be put in place behind the scenes. As an investor, this should really excite you guys. And if you don't fully understand this, it's not too late, guys. We got time. This is a chart from Bitcoin.com and the Bitcoin halving cycle. I'd say this right here is probably the number one thing you want to research. Because we're coming to the 2024 halving event, which is, guys, I think it's going to be one for the history books. I think you're going to tell your grandkids about the Bitcoin halving cycle. I really do. So do your research, stack your bags, make your own financial decisions. And guys, last story I want to talk about, because I did sell some stock. I know I like to tell you I want to make big purchases or big sells. I sold all my Coinbase stock. I made a nice little profit off of it too. I was real happy with it because of this. 4 top executives at Coinbase, including the CEO, Brian Armstrong, have dumped massive amounts of shares in Coin. This week, Brian made his largest sale of stock, accumulating $5.8 million. So when a CEO of a company sells a stock, Elon Musk sold a bunch of Tesla stock. I sold my Tesla stock. Brian Armstrong sold his Coinbase stock. I sold mine. I take profits, guys. I don't hold stuff anymore. We take profits around here. But guys, yeah, super exciting news. We just need to keep paying attention to what's going on with the SEC and this Coinbase lawsuit. Hopefully Coinbase is the chosen one, so to speak, because of their partnership with Blackrock. And guys, we'll continue to keep covering these markets. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you made it to the end of this video, drop me a 100 emoji in the comments. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Peace.